Hi guys and gals, and welcome back to Eighth Wonder Investing. I mentioned in a previous video about this character by the name of Mr. Market. So today I thought I'd elaborate a bit on this image of Mr. Market, as it's a good image to keep in your head, especially when you're struggling with your emotions. So Mr. Market, he's one of the oldest characters in the stock market. It was created by Benjamin Graham, seen as the father of value investing. And Mr. Market was dedicated a whole chapter in Ben Graham's famous book in 1949, The Intelligent Investor. The Intelligent Investor is a book that Warren Buffett even recommends to this day, especially chapters 8 and 20. I've read it. It can be a bit dry, but it certainly should appear on your reading list at some time or another. It's definitely worth a read. So, for those of you who don't know, Benjamin Graham was Warren Buffett's teacher back in Columbia Business School, and he would talk about this character called Mr. Market. So, who's Mr. Market? Mr. Market sells you anything and buys you anything at any time. He's quite an emotional guy. He's somewhat of a manic depressive kind of guy who has to stay on his meds to stay calm, if you like, to stay calm and rational about the present and about the future. He comes to you every day, multiple times a day, all day long, and gives you prices for thousands of companies, thousands of prices for thousands of companies. And most of the time, these prices are fair and are in some way attached to the fundamentals of the business, of the businesses that they relate to. However, he is definitely a bit bipolar at times, and he'll go through these phases where he's very exuberant and positive about the future of these companies, and he'll be pricing them very, very high. And the future looks rosy forever and just nothing can go wrong. Other times, Mr. Market gets very sad and depressed about the future and does quite the opposite by offering you those same companies at extremely low prices, as if nothing's going to go right. The future is just down from here. So it's important to remember Mr. Market is there to be taken advantage of. We don't want to play into his mood swings. He's there to be taken advantage of. We can take advantage of his manic depressive mood swings as he serves wonderful companies that we have identified as attractive, and wonderful companies as he serves them up to us at attractively low prices. And when the pendulum swings the other way, we can also have the chance to sell a business that we hold at an attractively high price that Mr. Market is giving us. So that's how we can benefit from his mood swings. This plays nicely with something Warren Buffett talks about by buying fear and selling greed. By buying when everyone is fearful, i.e. when Mr. Market is depressed, and selling when everyone is greedy, when Mr. Market is manic. Understanding how Mr. Market functions can help us with our own emotions and keep them in check. And help us to invest intelligently. When emotions get involved in investing, this can cloud our judgment, and only serves to highlight the lack of research that you've done and the lack of understanding that you might have around a particular business that you've been working on. As value investors, we have to be willing to invest at a good price, and when we see that price drop even further, and we have to not let that bother us. If you buy in and the price drops and your hands start sweating and you can't sleep at night, then this is a sign that you've probably not done enough research, and then you are behaving just like Mr. Market, basically. We must do the opposite of Mr. Market as value investors. If someone came to your front door every day and offered you prices on your house, you wouldn't sell it just because the price is going down. This is actually how a lot of people behave in the stock market. They fear the price will keep going down and it will stay down, so they better get out now. In effect, they buy high and they sell low instead of the other way around. All because they get caught up in the emotions of Mr. Market. obviously the same works in reverse. As Mr. Market comes to them every day and quotes them higher and higher prices, they think that if I don't buy in now, I'm going to miss out, because the past has shown good performance, and I'm going to miss out on that in the future. Yeah, because look at what I've missed out on already today. When market participants buy high and sell low, it is at its most emotional. This is normally called capitulation. And when the strongest market participants that are holding their ground finally give up and capitulate, either into the stock market at the top or out of the stock market at the bottom. And this makes sense. Markets find tops and bottoms when there's no one left on either side of the trade. Once the last person sells, the only way is up. And once the last person buys, then there are no buyers and the only way is down. It's kind of an oversimplified view, but I hope that gives you a gist of who Mr. Market is, his emotions, and how we as value investors, with our emotions under control, can be unemotional alongside Mr. Market as his emotions swing from high to low, and we can take advantage of those mood swings. By doing that, we can achieve higher returns as the fear eventually abates and Mr. Market starts to price things rationally again. As much as you like to think that you can have your emotions under control, we are all human, and even you and I can be susceptible to the emotions of the stock market. And realizing that goes a long way to keeping your emotions under control. So Mr. Market's a good image to keep in your head, and he is there to serve us. If you take away one thing, Mr. Market is there to serve you. Okay. Well, that's about all I wanted to cover for today. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Let's all go out there and become super investors. Until next time, take care.